So welcome to Boxing Media Hub, sponsored by Falcon Contracting and in partnership with Jams Boxing Chat. And we are going live again. Sorry to ruin your evening, everyone. We're going for Dan Azeez versus Hrvoje Sep. Is that right, Jan?
Pretty much, matey. We'll allow it.
Right, that means it was wrong. So we're going for the prediction show, and we've got myself, Jam, Sam from SWS Boxing, and Stevie from Neutrals Boxing Corner. What a legend.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's go for it, shall we? Let's go straight in. iBoxing Hub gives us the gloves as always. So Dan Azeez, 21 fights, 20 wins, 13 knockouts. He was last out in February 2024. I was there against Buatsi, a loss on unanimous decision, but what a cracking fight. I really enjoyed that. And I love both fighters, to be fair. I'm just gonna say Sep, 14 fights, 14 fights, 12 wins, 9 knockouts. He was last out in January against Omar Garcia, which he lost on a majority decision. This one's an 8-rounder, lads, this weekend, probably just to get Dan Azeez back out doing what he does. But are we overlooking Sep? Jam, let's go with you first.
Okay, mate. Thank you, Joel. Sep, I don't know too much about him, but what I have seen, he lost to Ricard Bolotniks. Remember him?
Yeah,
He was a tough little operator. He lost to him, and he's lost to Garcia last time out. But other than that, there's not much on his resume that screams anything that's going to trouble Dan Azeez. Super Dan, for me, he's a much higher level fighter. He's beat the likes of Rocky Fielding, Shakon Pitters. He's beat Hosea Burton. He's a decent operator, and he's only lost, like you said, came to Joshua Buatsi. So it's going to be one-sided for me, an absolute just a tune-up fight. He's going to make light work of Sep, and I think he takes him probably within 5.
Okay, yeah. It's going to be one. It's going to be one of those, isn't it, where it's almost get Dan Azeez back on the horse, get him right into where he should be again. Don't you think, Neutral?
Yeah, very much so. It was a unanimous decision against Joshua. Sorry, Buatsi done very well in that fight. We expected more of Dan, to be honest, in that fight. Yeah. He was actually going in favourite at one point, certainly amongst iBoxing Hub and Boxing Banter and Boxing Marico, as you well know. So we were all like under the impression that, yes, Dan Azeez is the favourite here, but on the night, it was a stinker from him. So he needs a big statement, because if he doesn't do well there tonight, he's not going to attract another big fight. So this guy's 38 years of age. He had a majority decision against him in his last fight. Bolotniks, unanimous decision. So I can see him taking Dan the full distance, the full 8 rounds. So I would expect Dan to put on at least a bit of a clinic here against the 38-year-old Croatian.
Yeah, as you say, to get back out there, get back on the horse and get back to where he belongs and does what he does. Sam, do you see it any differently? Are you giving any props to Sep?
No, I mean, I think you've been...
Fair enough, mate.
Thanks for that, Paul.
I think Neutral's was a bit harsh. I don't think Dan Azeez was dreadful. I think he was actually doing all right. I mean, and then, the back end of the fight, it was all Buatsi that made it wide. But the first couple of rounds were quite nip and tuck. I don't think it was an awful performance by Azeez, but he just got caught and, he got dropped. But
he got caught a lot, Sam. I'd say mid-rounds onwards, he got caught a lot, and he could have gone.
He sort of gassed out in a way.
Yeah.
Back end of the fight, like the 8th to 9th, sort of. And Buatsi took over. Yeah, and I thought, as Neutral said, that Dan Azeez, I personally thought Azeez was gonna win that. I was debating between that, but I thought it would be quite a close fight.
Yeah, same here.
But I ended up going with Azeez. But again, it's a bit of a tune-up fight, as you all said. Again, don't know too much of Sep, but he seems like a tough operator, taking Bolotniks the distance. Yeah, as Chris said there, no shame in losing to Buatsi. I think Azeez, It's a tune-up fight, is what you all said, sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, most fighters take a long time out after a defeat. You know, like a defeat. Especially your first defeat is a tough pill to swallow. But fair play to Dan. I didn't expect to see Azeez on this card. To be fair, I thought he would have took a bit longer. But fair dues to him that he's back out and wants to, get back on the horse, get back onto winning ways, and I'm sure he'll do that. And I'll be a bit shocked if he doesn't get the Sep out of here, because I think you've got to be getting guys like Sep out of there. No disrespect to Sep, but I think he should be. You should be getting guys out like him out of there. And I'm gonna say Dan Azeez in 4 rounds in this one, and and then he'll be back into those big fights. Maybe Lyndon Arthur, Cameron, Hutchinson. See where he goes from here.
Yeah, I'm saying 100%, mate.
I'm saying Azeez in 4.
Cool. Thank you very much, boys. All I will say is, I think Dan Azeez. I think he'll take. I don't think it's going to be a rush out the door. I think he takes his time. He boxes well, and I think we could see it around sort of 6 or 7. I think it will be later towards that end. I think if he is going to get him out, I don't. As you say, he's coming back after his first loss.
He might be cautious.
To a good friend of his as well. And I think that's probably been a real big helping hand in the sense that Buatsi has probably turned around and gone, mate, you're good at this. Get back out there. And it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. They've got that sort of bond. They went on holiday after their fight together. They spent that time together. And I reckon Buatsi probably had that influence on him to say, get back out there, brother. Do what you do.
Yeah. And what's surprising is it's only 8 rounds. He's gone from a 12 rounder to an 8 rounder. So that sort of puts him under pressure. Just a teeny bit, just to put on a performance. But he's got 8 rounds. The guy's 38. He's not in the. He shouldn't be presenting a problem to the likes of a Dan Azeez. But if he's stubborn and Dan doesn't, again, we don't know the damage mentally. If he doesn't come out strong and go for the knockout, it could well go the distance. But you would expect Dan to take this pretty easily.
Yeah. I completely agree.
I really like Dan, and do you know what I really admire about Dan Azeez is he's taken the old school way of picking up his credit,
English, British, common.
But the route to get to that level, and the route he's done to sort of the way he's presented himself and coming back. Hats off to Dan Azeez. I wish him all the best. To be fair, I thought he was going to do Buatsi. It genuinely for me.
There was a like young Chris said that the early rounds is where he could have capitalized on the fight, but as time went on, you could see Buatsi getting more confident and started opening up his punching, and he was catching Dan at will at one point. So if Dan has to address those defensive problems. I'm sure his team have been working furiously on that. I don't expect this guy to present anything of a problem that Buatsi did. So let's see.
Should be fun, might last.
Let's see, indeed. As we say, this one's going to be this weekend. Thank you very much, boys. Make sure you give us your predictions in the comments. Are we totally overlooking Sep? Are we sort of going, do you know what? Has this guy got a chance? He's got 9 knockouts in 12 wins. Are we, I know we've looked at the resume and all the rest of it.
He's never been stopped either.
He's knocked out 9 Croatian border guards. That's what it looks like.
Is he another Filip Hrgović? I think not.
Mate, I'll tell you.
He got knocked out himself, so maybe he is.
Those Croatian bodyguards, mate. I wouldn't want to mess with them, neutral.
They're built tough. They're built tough. Eastern blocks, mate. Don't mess with them guys.
There we go. So let us know in the comments. Hit the subscribe button as well and check out the rest of the content. Head over to SWS Boxing and Neutral's Corner. And make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. There's some great stuff going on with all these lads. And Jam, with his Jam's Boxing Chat, he puts out the shorts so you know what's going on. So keep in touch and let us know your thoughts, guys. Until next time, go on, Jam.
Have some of this.
Have it.
Yes, sir.